It looks like bears don't have the greatest time right now. And I want to go over this market right now with Bitcoin sitting at $118,000. It's actually incredible to say that out loud. And to see what's up with the altcoin market in that case and what we can expect. Because yes, Bitcoin 118K, that's great. Overall, percentage-wise, it's not up that much from where it came from, right? But let me tell you this. Oh, this is fuel in the tank, and things are about to get wild. Welcome to the Fomo Factory. Like the video. If you like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn the bell notification on. Look at this chart. This is such a typical move for Bitcoin during this market. Now, not the latest video, but the video before that, we spoke about the global M2 suggesting where Bitcoin might go. And it looks like Bitcoin is exactly following it once again. It's a very hated indicator. A lot of people, they say that it's maybe too easy and therefore it won't, be correct. Then again, maybe that will be the case at some point. For now, it is, and let's enjoy these gains, right? The global M2 was saying like, hey, we are going up, and Bitcoin was nicely following it. Then the global M2 went down, and yeah, there was some bad news out there when it came to the war. And now the global M2 went up, and wouldn't you know, Bitcoin is up right now as well, broke out of this falling wedge. And in my opinion, man, even if it retests 108K, that's still super bullish. So we have a lot of room to actually go and retest if needed. Now, apart from that, is this the move? Yeah, no. In my opinion, there's a long way to come. And my personal, not a prediction, but expectation is that Bitcoin could definitely see a number of 160K in September. I said that the 4th of July as well. And that is based on the M2, only on the M2 basically. So that's of course not a lot of indication. However, this has been the indicator that has been closest to perfect, right? So it is pretty crazy to see how this is going to play out. The next big stop looks to be 130K, give or take. That's what a 1.618 is coming in, right? So doesn't mean we cannot have resistance and pullbacks and etc. in the meantime. But in price discovery, it is very hard to come up with an idea where that might be. And therefore, the fib extension is a very great tool. Now, let's take a look at the rest of the crypto market, because there is, of course, more in crypto than just BTC, right? So Bitcoin doing fantastic. Once again, it's obviously a Bitcoin bull market. And what's also interesting is what we spoke about a while back already, is that Bitcoin it ranges, then it goes up, finds the next range, then it goes up again, finds the next range, goes up again. The average move of that move up, yeah, it's very like, it's sitting between 50 and 120%, what we have seen so far, at least, right? And if we now take it from the low, we are now sitting so far at 20%. So if we repeat the worst move so far, then 147K could be the case. If we repeat the best move, which is of course also possible, that's 120%, then we come, around $220,000. Yeah, it doesn't sound so crazy anymore, does it? Right? Bitcoin is showing like no problem at all with all the money that's flowing in right now. But Bitcoin is not the only thing that's, adopting and getting a lot of money. Ethereum is definitely next best. The inflows of the Ethereum ETFs, the whole stable implementation that's going on right now, the huge OTC buys that are being made, it's more than obvious that Ethereum is going to be a big winner. I said here, it's a brain dead buy. And why did I say that? And I want to be like, hey, time to bottom. I didn't buy this bottom exactly, but this right here was the brain dead buy. Why? Because Ethereum on the dollar pair, it kind of shows you nothing. right? It shows you like, okay, this was the low of the cycle. So far, this is the high. Where could it go, right? Well, yeah, if you are here, the low, this was the high. So could it go here? Yeah, no, it went all the way here, right? It tells you nothing. It doesn't give you perspective. However, what does give you perspective is the Ethereum dominance. That's just simply showing how much is Ethereum dominating compared to the rest of the market. And that was sitting at major lows. And that's where it bounced really, really, really hard off. This pattern right here, honestly, it looks a lot like this. Right now, to be fair, here we got a bottom, went up, got a double bottom, went up. Yeah, we could. It seems far from now, but hey, anything could happen, right? Then again, it also could be that we bottom once, and here we had some kind of a double top. Could be that we now have our double top. Like, overall, it is kind of doing what it did last cycle. Now, I want to mention that shorter term, this is big resistance. What is really interesting, though, to see is that if you look at the bull market support band for Ethereum, for the first time in a year from July 2024, for the first time this week, it has the chance to close above its bull market support band again, right? So yeah, we can say whatever we want about Ethereum, but if that happens, then it looks better than what it has done in the last 365 days at least, when it comes to dominating, right? Yeah, and that's pretty crazy because, of course, you may understand that here, when it was doing quite well, when it came to dominance, right, August 2020, that's fine, right? But August 2020, the total crypto market was sitting here, this here, right? So yeah, if Ethereum outperforms this amount of money, that's great. Now let it outperform this amount of money, right? And therefore, I feel like, man, Ethereum is the obvious buy when it comes to safety. It's the safest altcoin out there by far. But also when it comes to gains, don't underestimate the Ethereum gains. They could get quite, actually pretty insane. When it comes to other altcoins, alts are doing well as well, right? And we'll talk about that. And we will talk about the fact that they are not making new all-time highs yet, and Bitcoin is, so altcoins are dead, right? We know how it goes. Yeah. Last cycles, it was also dead. And if you bought there, you did great. Look, while this is happening, the Bitcoin dominance is going down. Not a lot, but it's going down. That shows something, right? It shows like, hey, a lot of money is flowing into crypto right now, but Bitcoin is actually giving away some of these gains to the rest, right? Therefore, you'll see that Ethereum on its Bitcoin pair is going up right now. Also, now above the bull market support band, right? And that's a pretty interesting indicator because also this one hasn't closed above it since also July 2024, right? The relative strength looks to be shifting right now. And now we may finally again see the money rotation, right? Bitcoin, ETH, alts. But the money flow into Bitcoin took so long that, we all forgot about the fact that it could also flow again in Ethereum and alts. But yeah, they were dead, right? They're not dead. They're definitely not dead. Now, there are some amazing indicators showing you that it's a great time to buy. One of the best indicators is this, though. Capo, of course. Don't FOMO here. Price was higher. Price higher than expected, but it's buying here is a mistake. Now it's even higher. Blow off top. And how often this was a bull trap and this and that. All the way he actually was shorting ETH from $2,200. And I think it's pretty cool. I'm not saying it, for no reason. This is the counter trade signal. It works. Try it. It works. Okay. Apart from that, altcoins, let's take a look at that. But overall, it looks to be that Bitcoin and ETH are the winners. Now, of course, they are here, and there are some altcoins that always do a little bit better, of course. But yeah, from the big and relative safe coins, these are the winners. But even if you take a look at, for example, Solana against Ethereum, it lost everything it had, right? The 382, broken. The bull market support band, broken. The 50 weekly moving average, broken. This trend line, this rising wedge, broken. Right, so I'm not saying get out of Solana right now. It shows how Solana is doing against ETH. And it does show that ETH is now catching up on all the losses that it made in the last couple of years. And that point was a fantastic buying opportunity. Right now, we'll find out how altcoins overall will do against Ethereum, because you can put altcoins against ETH, and then you see this chart right here, right? Also, everything broke against ETH. So it's not that all these altcoins are bad. It's just saying that, hey, Ethereum is currently doing better. It's currently outperforming, and that's not that weird, as it was underperforming for a long time as well. Is it too late to get an ETH? Depends, right? And again, this is a matter of perspective. If ETH was sitting at 88 bucks right here, and here it was sitting at 190, right? You could say, it's too late. And then again, eventually it went to 5K, right? We don't know how high it is going, so you don't know if it is too late or not. All I know, on its Bitcoin pair, still super low, but it's showing more confirmation when it comes to the dominance. Same thing, altcoins are now bleeding against Ethereum. The adoption, that speaks for itself. It would be unwise at this stage to not be in ETH. But you do you. Apart from that, a chart that I think looks pretty interesting. By the way, TradingView added some things. You can now see the collective AI market. You can see the collective meme coin market. It's all top 100, right? All the meme coins together don't look like this, of course. But the RWA market, it's pretty cool. But what is actually reflecting altcoins and alt season? Because is this alt season? No, Bitcoin is now 180K, 18K, right? Of course, altcoins, they go up with it, but it's not an alt season. It's just Bitcoin doing well and altcoins go with it, right? It's not an altcoin only run just yet. But let me speak about the potential, because I think the altcoin run is going to be fucking insane. It's going to be really, really, really take everybody off guard, actually. But this is showing, what the fuck is this? Huh? All right. This showing how altcoins look. Now, this is the total tree, excluding stables. Total tree, everything in the top 125, excluding Bitcoin and ETH, and excluding stables. So every single altcoin prompt in one chart, right? That's what you get right here. What I love about this is that it's sitting in this huge rising wedge. And I know, often rising wedges are bearish, right? But this is a multi-year rising wedge. By the time, if it breaks down, by the time that it will break down, could be by the end of this bull market, right? We had the top, bottom, top, top, bottom, bottom, bottom. Let it go to the top once more, right? Fine. That's where we want to be. That's where we now, if we are prepared, you know, make all the money we need and get the hell out of this thing, right? How extremely accurate this so far has played out is almost scary. I know a lot of people, they don't believe in trend lines, this and that, but I also think that this is a little more than a coincidence, right? This is a trend. And buying at the lower side of this trend line has always been the way to do it. Unfortunately, most people, they bought here or here somewhere, and not here. The ones who bought here, though, they're now already celebrating. I took some profits on coins here and there today because I had a good entry on these coins, right? So I was able to already take some out. Place yourself in a position, right? When there are people, when they are scared, buy, right? I've said this many times. I got so much shit on this channel, right? A lot of people actually mad. Nah, it's different. You sucker. You should not buy alts. Blah, 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 blah. It's fine. Right, it's fine. But I am now able to say like, hey, I have the gains which I can now realize, right? And that's what I'm doing it for. I'm not here to make bears happy. Look at that guy. Does he seem happy? I don't think so. Right? So this looks like, okay, the move is kind of starting, right? It's kind of starting. What's interesting, it broke big horizontal resistance. Huge, actually, right? It broke above the bull market support band and it broke above the 50 weekly moving average. Altcoins officially look generally bullish, right? Last couple of months, they looked opportunistic, which is good. But now we have the confirmation that it was indeed the time to be bullish. And now they look bullish, right? And if it retests, fine, right? They look great. I love it. What about alt season, though? That's where altcoins outperform Bitcoin. And you have to understand this. If you look at the last cycle, look at this. Because I get the sentiment that people say like, altcoins are not going with it. Isn't that weird? Nah, actually, no. It's not weird, actually. If you look at Bitcoin, right, and you overlay this altcoin market, you see right here, Bitcoin made a new all-time high right here. December 14, 2020. Right? That's where Bitcoin started making a new all-time high. Did altcoins do that? No. Right? They were still pretty far from all-time highs, almost 2x. When did altcoins make an all-time high? Generally, right? Collectively. That was here when they broke out. Right? Where was Bitcoin? Oh, Bitcoin was already at 40K. Right? Twice as high as the previous all-time high. I'm not saying that that should happen right now. But keep in mind that, you know, last cycle, it took Bitcoin to go 2x above its previous all-time high before altcoins even started to make a new all-time high, right? At least the others chart. Yeah, if you look at others right now, it's sitting at 270 billion, all-time high. Not 2x from here, but, you know, close. It looks somewhat similar, actually, right? If that would repeat, which it probably won't exactly, but if it would repeat, yeah, then it means that Bitcoin first has to go to 140K. Yeah, by the time Bitcoin is sitting at 140 and altcoins did not make a new all-time high yet, yeah, of course, people would say like, whoa, it's fucking wrong, it's dead. It's like, but that would be like the same, actually, right? And what happened after that? Alt season. So let's take a look at that. If we do take a look at alt season, then we can take a look at all these alts on their Bitcoin pair. Right now, nothing much has changed from the last time I spoke about this, but it looks also pretty similar to me, like the last cycles, right? Where altcoins on the Bitcoin pair went into a bear market, started to range, sweep that low, alt season, right? Bear market, range, sweep the low, alt season. Bear market, range, sweep the low. We just had a sweep. Question is like, hey, is this enough, right? Well, yeah, maybe it is, right? I mean, this bear market, it went down 81% from the top to the range, right? 81. Here, altcoins went down with 58. Right? Diminishing returns and diminishing losses, right? So could the sweep also be diminishing? The only thing that I want to keep in mind in this case is that if you look at the cycle before that, we had two sweeps. One, reclaim, fail, huge alt season, right? Now, could it be that this is the first, right? Maybe, I don't know. Yeah, all I know is that if you go back in time, right? And if you bought here somewhere, right? Or here somewhere, or even here somewhere, yeah, was that a bad thing? If you sold here, then yeah. But hey, look what came after. So I look at this and I'll be like, you know, could it go a little lower? Maybe not. I don't know. Nobody knows. Should you try to time it? No, of course you shouldn't. Right? That's not going to work. Then you're going to wreck yourself. So when it comes to alt season, I'm like, okay, let's have some patience. This chart has a long way to go. During this Bitcoin pump, it is showing strength. So it is showing, once again, that once a lot of money flows into the market, alts are overall outperforming Bitcoin. The moment where alts are underperforming in this market is when Bitcoin kind of goes sideways / down, right? But yeah, that's not what we are seeing right now. Now, why do I think though that this cycle is gonna be much bigger than a lot of people probably expect? Well, it's what we spoke about before. If you look at Bitcoin, 117, 18, by the time you watch it, 15, 19, 3 million, I don't know, $118,000, right? 118. Dude, you know how much money that is? Like that's not about like the market cap, right? That's insane. Again, alt season is where money flows from BTC into alts. Look, last cycle, if you again overlay this one, total 3 excluding stables divided by Bitcoin, right? The altcoin or the alt season market chart. Last time we got an alt season started here. That was when Bitcoin was sitting at 30K, right? And it kind of stopped alt season right here around 60K, right? 60, 70K. That was when we had alt season. When we pulled liquidity out of a 30 up to 70K Bitcoin. Now we haven't even started and we can already pull liquidity out of a $118,000 Bitcoin. Now, I know there are more altcoins to divide it with. Sure, definitely, right? Definitely. But is it like that much? No. At least I'm not interested in buying that pump fund tokens or the pump fund token itself. We like don't buy that, right? But the amount of liquidity in the market is insane. So what you'll notice is that in the last alt season, you can see it right here, right, where the Bitcoin dominance went down. This is where alt season started, right? Yeah, the Bitcoin dominance, it went down with a total of 47%, right? If we now take 47% down with the current liquidity in Bitcoin, then altcoins are going to do way more than what it did last cycle, right? Because there is simply more money in Bitcoin. Now, I don't think we're going down that much, but again, we don't need to. If we, from this point, go just down, right around here, 35%, you have safe high caps that can 10x easy, right? Easy, no worries. You don't need to gamble on shit that probably wrecks you. Why would you? Buy an ADA, an AVAX, a Solana, even an XRP. The boring shit doesn't matter. Easy gains, easy. Let alone if Bitcoin will be sitting higher by then. Could be. Could be. But if we go back to the Bitcoin dominance chart and we overlay Bitcoin, you can see though that the last alt season here started while BTC was sitting at what was it? How do you overlay the best way? Freaking weekly chart. Kind of started here when Bitcoin was sitting at 14K, right? Now, eventually, Bitcoin kind of went to 20, right? But it stopped also around 14. So Bitcoin price kind of stayed the same. But all that money from Bitcoin flew into alts, right? So more money was, coming into the market, but it was transferred from BTC to alts. In the last alt season, it's even more interesting, actually. Right? You can see that alt season started here when Bitcoin was sitting at around 30K. Right? And while alt season was happening, Bitcoin went up as well. Yeah, that's kind of crazy, though. That's kind of crazy. Right? So anything could happen right now. Could Bitcoin go higher? Very likely, eventually, it will go higher. When alt season is going to start, I don't know. I wish I did. Would be nice to know, right? All I know is what I think is pretty insane. Tariffs. Trump and Elon fighting. Wars. No ending of QT yet. No rate cuts. Nothing. Nothing actually that really matters. Right? Yet the total market, total crypto market from the April lows just a few months ago, without any form of good news, went up 50% like it's nothing. Right? That your shitcoin of a $2 million market cap goes up with 50%. Yeah, I understand that. But that a total crypto market with a $2 trillion valuation goes up 50% without anything. That shows that, hey, when there's actually good news, this is easy, 5 trillion, if not more. Easy. You would be like, that's bearish, actually. Right? So, if that money flows into alts, holy crap. Now, are alts really gonna outperform really hard right now? We'll find out. We'll find out. Look, every time Bitcoin does this, right, goes into price discovery right here, kind of stalls out, goes into price discovery right here, stalls out, makes a new all-time high right here, stalls out, does the same thing, well, here right now, actually. Let's overlay the altcoin market to wrap it up with. Let's see what happens. Hey, altcoins, huge leg up. Altcoins, huge leg up. Altcoins, huge leg up. Did I miss one? I don't know. Yeah, they are already going up. Not like, whoa. But then again, I mean, we just started this whole thing like yesterday. So let's give it some time, see how it plays out. But so far, this market is maybe an emotional roller coaster, but technically it's so fucking easy this time, actually, right? You simply buy the big capitulation events and you get these huge moves up. That's where you take your profits. You wait for it to stall out to everybody to FUD all over the place. Get another liquidation event, you buy it up, right? And it's working every single time again. And you just look at the M2 like, hey, where are we going? And M2 says, oh, there. Okay, cool. That's it. It is absolutely weird, right? But again, so far, completely works. Now, when it comes to individual alts, you know, again, one is better than the other. I don't think that this is really interesting to take a look at right now, actually. Look, yeah, there are definitely alts that I feel like, hey, these are great to have exposure to, right? And I spoke about that in, I think, the latest video, so do check that out. For example, spoke about a Cardano, and look what Cardano, one of the highest cap coins, this week up 25%. 25, right? The boring, dead, non-fundamental, stupidest meme coin out there. And it works. It works, right? And again, I do think that that there's a lot more coming for ADA. I spoke about why the chart was really like, whoa, crazy. But yeah, some lower caps, Wild World this week, 44%, absolutely beautiful. But then again, individually, it's like, hey, it's now sitting at big resistance, right? So it's not great yet. It's not great yet, but they're definitely just doing well. Dogecoin, you know, doing pretty good. AVAX, it's all bouncing off of major support, right? Not just a 4-hour candle down and then going up again, like, whoa. No, this goes back to 2021, right? And although it wicked a little below it, depends on how you draw it as well. Look at this bounce, exactly here. Huh? Oh, coincidence, right? And there's so much to come. There's so much to come, right? Now, whatever happens tomorrow, I don't know. But I do think that if we, again, be wise, don't rely on what the M2 is saying, but at least now look at it and be like, okay, fuck, maybe we should pay attention to this, right? If we should believe the M2, then this will be a very fantastic summer, actually, right? at least until like September, give or take. Let's overlay it one more time to check that out, and then I'm gonna wrap it up. What you really want to do though is check the Discord down below. WAP to the Alpha Factory. It's in the description. It's in the pinned comment. Join our private Discord. That's where all the magic takes place. You get so much alpha from there. You can call with me, video call with me, text me, whatever. We go over your portfolio, but we do giveaways. Like, I don't even want to, like, just check it out. Check it out. It's like not a lot of investments are worth it. This one is. Now, last thing in this case, global M2. What is it saying? It's kind of saying that like it's still going, right? It's still going, and you have these pauses in between. So yeah, sure, you have your Bitcoin pullbacks, but overall, till the end of September, there's no real pullback, right? Yeah, this could get quite crazy actually. So, oh guys, I hope you are ready. I hope you are ready. Few tips. Look at high caps, right? Don't look at the shit yet. It's not a risk-on environment yet. It's just Bitcoin showing why it exists. Bitcoin will, one day we will say, oh, 200K, oh, 300K, oh, 800K, like 1 million, 2 million. That will happen. That's Bitcoin. Altcoins, good quality alts, simply follow. Is this an alt season? No. Is it a risk-on environment? No. Do we have a lot of good news that makes this happen? No. Right? Don't be sidelined for when that happens, though. Don't be sidelined when we get rate cuts, when we get the end of QT, when war ends, when there's good news about tariffs, when Elon and Trump taking baths again, hand in hand, rubbing each other's bellies, right? Like, don't be sidelined when that happens, okay? Because apparently we need a sneeze and the market goes up. Let alone if we really get something good. Then the market completely explodes. We talked about it. Alts are low. The liquidity is down. It takes absolutely nothing. And this is the type of period again, right? And the only people who don't profit from this, sorry to say, but these are the people that here said that it was dead and over. Once again, guys, low prices doesn't mean it's dead. It means you have an opportunity to buy, so you now have an opportunity to take profit, so you make money in this market, okay? So turn off the emotions, okay? The market again shows like, hey, that's the rewarding phase. So don't be in the shitcoins. Don't be like, hey, alt season won't happen. Again, definitely not the wisest thing to bet on right now. If you look at the dominance for Bitcoin, ETH, and stables, yeah, I mean, if you want to talk about range highs, then this is the best prime example that I can give you. And yeah, could we maybe stay a little longer right here or wick above it? There's a chance. Could we also go all the way down and give us an alt season? Yeah, eventually I will try. I'll dare to stick something personally in the fire for that. Really, right? And if that happens, that's where the real money is made. Okay, don't fall for scams in the meantime. Keep your money safe. Don't follow Ran from Banter saying that the pump fund token will launch at a $6 valuation, $6 price, when it has a trillion total supply. I don't think that pump fund is going to bring in $6 trillion in the market, but hey, I'm happy to admit that he was right actually, but I think that's kind of idiotic. Don't buy that pre-sale in the first place if you don't want to, you know, buy into a $12 billion FDV project or anything. Look at the quality, man. Look at the quality, really. Render will do fine. Aave will do fine. Super, Nair, Beam, maybe Beam, I don't know. Arrow, ChainGPT, Tau, Cetify, you know, Cardano even. Don't forget Web3 Whales, the project that I run. Like, it's all gonna do probably very fine. You don't need to gamble right now, okay? That's it for today. I hope you can enjoy these gains. Let me know what you are doing in this market, and I'll see you soon.